So most people think that the reduction in price of crude oil, as has been happening recently, is a good thing. However, it's not really, and the reason it's not is because of fracking. Now, here is an article from CNBC, Market Insider. This is the price that would kill US oil production growth. And as we'll see in a minute, forget about oil production growth. And they reckon it would take a drop in crude prices to about $50 a barrel before US oil production growth would be choked off. Now this is growth. They're not talking about current production really. And then they say at a level of $40 to maybe even as high as $60, production growth would fall towards zero as producers shut less productive wells. Now, the less productive wells they're talking about are shale gas wells because they cost a small fortune to operate. So why would this cause a huge problem? Well, it's the banks and fracking. And here we have a little article. Okay, this is about French banks, but the same goes for any other bank really that lends to these companies, like Chase Manhattan, for example. And the multinationals involved are all the old fracking friends. Quadrilla there at the bottom, very active in the UK, Talisman, Chevron, and so on. And these banks have lent billions. And the French banks are even lending despite the fact that they're not allowing these companies to frack in France. And it just goes on and on and on. And there is a statement here: oil and gas majors are as irresponsible as Texas cowboys. And this is really about a study that looked at the businesses in the United States, several of which are financed by French banks, which is why they come into this article. And the transparency policy is damning. So they're saving up costs for later because they're going to have to pay people compensation, presumably. Now the Dutch decided this wasn't a good idea, so Dutch banks have run away. They've said, no, we're not investing in shale gas. We're not investing in shale oil extraction. So there we go. So we've talked about this $40 price. Where's it going to come from? Well, here's the Daily Telegraph. OPEC willing to push oil price to $40, says Gulf oil minister. And at the $40 level, there is no fracking site which can compete. Every fracking site will be making enormous losses. And it doesn't just affect America. I mean, as it says here in the article, a slump in prices to levels around $40 a barrel would be a boost for parts of the UK economy and would see petrol drop. However, it will also threaten thousands of jobs in Britain's petroleum energy and place around £55 billion worth of oil projects in the North Sea and Europe at risk of cancellation. And the environmentalists can jump up and down and shout hooray, because this is mostly fracking. So what this is about really is a war. It's a financial war between Russia and the United States and Arabia to see who's going to blink first as the price plummets towards the bottom. And here we see the latest price chart for crude oil. and you can see what direction it's rather definitely going in over the last 3 months. It's just been plunging. In fact, oil prices now are lower than they have been for, I think it's the last 5 years. And as you can see from the chart, there is no sign of it slowing down in its plunge. And this $40 price that is talked about by the Saudis does indeed seem to be achievable, and it does indeed at the moment seem that it is going to happen. And if this happens, this will cause a huge problem for the American economy. Why is this? Because the banks, in their wisdom, have lent trillions to these fracking companies, because these wells are extremely expensive to open up compared to a regular oil well, and the costs of running them are also much higher. Now, what are the costs of closing down a fracking operation? Well, we don't know. What happens when you close down a fracking operation and restart it again? Do you get oil out, or do you just get garbage? We don't know. So, this could be trillions lost from the banking system. These companies are going to collapse because they can't pay any of it back. They can't produce oil because every barrel of oil they produce at $40 actually costs them $15 to produce it extra over and above the $40. So, what will this do to the economy? What will this do to America's GDP? It will slaughter it. And what will this in turn do to the dollar? We don't know, but it cannot be a good thing. So, if you've found this presentation valuable or informative, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks very much.